Digimon. Prepare to Digimon.
New monsters, can't you see?
Digital reality. You teach your beast to fight.
So train him day and night.
Prepare to Digimon.
And face your foe direct. When you battle, connect.
So let the fight begin!
And may the best beast win.
Prepare to Digimon. Prepare to Digimon.
The fight goes on and on.
Prepare to Digimon.
Digimon, the battling digital monster, each so separately from Bandai.
Hi and welcome back to Today Re-Review, and today we're going to be having a special review. We're going to be reviewing the 20th anniversary Digimon Tamagotchi Digivice. This was actually provided to me by one of the users, Adolfo. Thank you very much for providing me with this opportunity to review this product, and thank you so much for sharing it with me. I'm actually glad that he was able to provide me with the yellow one, because I remember when I was younger I encountered a Digivice, basically this version right here, the virtual pet, and I didn't know, like if it was going to be good or anything. And I've heard of Tamagotchis, and I had a Godzilla Tamagotchi, and it was amazing, but I didn't know about this one because I've never heard of Digimon back then, and I wish I would have gotten it back then. It would have been amazing, but I have this great opportunity to review this one and have this one in hand. And the crazy part is the one I remember was the exact same color as this one, so it's kind of like a nostalgia or kick back into the past. It's awesome. So today we're going to be reviewing the product itself. Another video will be having the actual insights of how the devices worked and everything. Today we're just going to be reviewing the product itself and learning more about the item as well. So let's get started. We're going to be reviewing the item, and then we're going to look into it, and then I'll provide my feedback as well. So let's go ahead and look at this one. As you could tell really quick, it does provide you with 3 languages, so this more than likely is their North American, as they had placed it as well, Digivice. And you have your English, you have Le Monstre Numérique, French, and El Monstruo Digital, and that's the Spanish. So it's mostly for the North American range, which includes Canada, United States, and Mexico. So the package as well, I mean, you could tell it had its kick within the mail. I had actually had this version for a while. I didn't have a chance to review until this time, so I had it for a while, and I didn't want to open it and didn't test it out until right now. So the side, you have the old school Digimon logo as well with the top section sidewise as well, and the bottom you have some additional information. Of course, it's mostly like where it's made and choking hazards and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and look at the back. And the back gives you this classical look, and it tells you about what it's about. It, of course, tells race, train, battle. It gives where it says engage, the exclusive docking rock feature, and pit your Digimon in a binary bout against others Digimon. Okay, sure, that sounds pretty good, except the interesting thing is that when you read it in the other language, it says activa, which means activate. So engage and activate. All right, they got it. They got the dialogue. These are the Digimon cores that you could get. It says you can get a different Digimon every time you play. Hey, well, that's awesome. That way, you're not restricted to like the one Digimon. And of course, the other Digimons that I had before, the Tamagotchi version or the virtual pet version, if I'm not mistaken, you were only limited to 1 or 2. However, this is a North American version, and in Japan they did make one they did make several Digivices that actually had a specific Digimon tied to it. If I'm not mistaken, I had read that this one in particular was going to contain all the Digimons as well, so it's going to be having a combination of all the other ones, so that way you don't have to worry about purchasing one or the other. I will say this, that this specific Digivice is, if I'm not mistaken, sold out already here in the US. It was out last semester or in the fall of 2019. And I know GameStop actually had pre-orders, and they had some other ones. The only thing about GameStop was that if you paid for the Digivice, you would get a random color, which was a downside. So let's say, for example, if you really wanted the blue one, you got the red. If you wanted the red, maybe you got the gray one, or so on. I know Amazon did have specific colors, but even then, last time I checked on it, they were either sold out or they were a little bit pricier, or vice versa, some other stuff. They are actually having the translucent versions, and those seem pretty interesting. There's no real specific like Digimon tied to them, kind of like the Japanese versions that did have a specific Digimon who was going to be the translucent. So it's more of like a regular general Digimon as well, but it looks cool. You know, I'm really glad that this is with me. So the final section, really quick, it actually says, it talks about, you know, what the things that the Digivice is going to be containing. Of course, you know, you could train, you could feed, status, you could lights, medical attention, album, 2 Digivice communication, alert, and flush, and of course a single Digivice battle. So one of the main key features of this Digivice versus the original Digivice was that you can actually house 2 Digimon in here versus the other one that it was only one specific one, and to battle you actually needed another Digivice to battle your friend. However, in this case, we're only viewing one Digivice and you could have 2 Digimon in there, which is a blessing because that way, you know, I will tell you this, I have yet to meet someone else who has a virtual pet. My wife didn't want to get one, which is crazy. I was telling her, you know, I got one, you should get one, we should battle, but she didn't want one. So it's hard to know who exactly has one, and since it's not the 90s anymore, you know, you're not going to school and finding out, you know, which one of your friends actually has a Digivice. So I'm glad that they actually provided us with 2 Digimon, and inside the package we're gonna go ahead and open it, and of course we have the Digivice as well. And I had read about this at the there we go, the manual's inside hidden. So let's go ahead and look at the Digivice itself. It resembles the original one pretty much exactly, and I always liked it that you were able to hang it. Now this is one of the things that I did like, was that it's a sturdy chain, so it's not one of those cheap ones as well. So let's go ahead and look at the device. The device is a nice matte yellow finish. It's not glossy or anything like that. I like that it has the designs of the brick around it, and it resembles very much the original Digivice as well, since it has kind of that cage look, like, hey, you know, he's breaking out of the Digivice. The background is going to be one of those painted ones. It just provides you with 3 buttons, of course, with the reset button and the connection. This is one thing that I really liked and enjoyed, that they kept the connection very similar or exactly the same as the incoming Digivices from the 90s. From, you have, you know, season 1, 2, and 3, meaning that you're able to battle. There were some additional features or some things that people did point out. For example, if you wanted to battle with one of the other Digivices, you might have some issues. I haven't had the chance to try it. I'll be able to try it with the previous Digivice that I reviewed as well. So we'll see what happens. But I know the X-Wars version of Virtual Pet, its connection was three sections instead of the 2, and it was diagonal, and I couldn't connect it at all with any kind of Digivice. So I'm glad that at least this one they stayed with the same version. The feel of it is actually very nice. It's a nice rubber section. This is a hard plastic, but the buttons are actually nice. They're flexible, they push in, they feel like they respond very well. The plastic itself, the housing, is not cheap. It's pretty good. It's a hard one, of course. You know, you have 4 screws and then the battery section, and this one, of course, says Bandai 2019, so it was released. The shape of it is not bad. It's small enough to hold in the hand. Of course, as mentioned before in my previous videos, I'm not that tall, so my hands aren't that huge, so this fits actually really nice. If you are an individual who is taller, this might be viewed as something very small inside your hands. But I really did like that the buttons are raised, so you don't have to worry about not being able to push into it. I know there are other devices or other toys or, you know, different things that the buttons are so in that you need like a pencil to actually point into it, or, you know, if you bite your nose too much, it's harder to go into it. But since it's raised, it has a nice feel to it. They stand out, not a lot, but just enough to be able to push at them. The reset's the only one where you probably need like a pin or something like that. But yeah, there we go. It's a nice little view. It's I mean, the screen is small. That's the only downside that I'm seeing. It doesn't have a large screen, so if you by any chance have a hard time viewing or reviewing, or like viewing in general, different things, it's going to be a little harder to view this one. You might have to look at it closely. In terms of sunlight, glare wise, it's not that bad. You could see it, but it's going to be one of those screens that you kind of have to look into it. Here's one thing that it kind of stinks. It doesn't really have a lighted back screen, so you really do have to look into the sun, which isn't bad either way. But yes, it's a nice device, and we'll be starting off. I'll be submitting another one that actually has the full and internal information as well for the device, and we'll be reviewing that one as well and going through it as well. Lastly is the booklet. Now the booklet's interesting because it's a pretty thick one. However, it's a pretty thick one just because it does provide you with everything. Oh, sorry. It does provide you with everything. So there's about 39 pages in here. And when I mean it provides you with everything, I mean it provides you with everything in all 3 languages as well. So, for example, we have sound, son, y sonido. You know, so I thought that when I first originally saw this one, I was thinking like, oh, okay, it's probably thick because, you know, it has the first English version, then French and Spanish. But no, actually, it tells them all right there. But it's so in detail. When I was reviewing it before, it tells you know exactly like how it works. So Digivice battle, the exact steps you need, the who, the what. If you have any questions, I mean, this thing is literally filled with all the answers. You provided as well with feed, how you feed it, when you feed it, with different things, which I'm glad, you know, that way you don't have to worry about, oh, well, I don't know how this works, which was one of the issues with previous Digivices as well, with virtual pets, that you were kind of left with questions and you didn't know how to answer them because you weren't provided with all the details. But compared to this one's actually very great, and I love that it has illustrations, so be able to show you like the Digimons that are in there, you know how it works, what you're actually expecting to view on the screen compared to other ones that just had plain words. So yeah, this one was actually really great. Bring this one guy in really quick right now. So this is you know, the main section of a reviewing of the actual Digivice. In the next video, I'll be showing the internals of it, and we'll be looking at all the features that the Digivice has. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Please like, subscribe to the video. Love you guys, kisses and everything very much. I hope you have a great day, and keep up for the next one. I'll be showing it up later, and that's going to be more of the internal stages of the Digivice. You have a great day.